On today's episode, we've got do's and don'ts of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in a street fight.
Travel strategy ideas for the broke jiu-jitsu athlete who just wants to compete a bunch.
Whether Matt wants his wife in a cotton or silk robe. And a reaction video.
Let's get it going.
Welcome back to the pod. My name's Kenny, here with Matt. What's going on, brother?
What up, guys? How's it going?
This is episode 39.
39. One away from that magical 40.
I know.
That's crazy. 39 times I've sat on this couch. What? 36 times? Right?
Yeah.
37? 37 times?
37.
37 times I've sat on this couch and we've made audio magic.
We've got some topics, some stuff I pulled from our Discord.
Okay.
We've got a little section in there for suggestions if people ever want to. There's topics or not. I guess questions too, but topics they want to hear us talk about on the pod. A little deeper than some of the listener questions.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got some tips for blue belts. Best ways to deal with a strong in the intro class that's treating the round like it's their pro debut, to the point where they sprint and then stop halfway through the round because they're gassed. So this was somebody. This is actually wrist lock Johnny, I believe.
So like warm ups, like
no,
they're rolling
roll.
so hard that they can't finish the rounds.
They're a blue belt, and then they've got an intro class guy that comes in. Maybe he's got a little bit of a wrestling background. Maybe he doesn't. Strong guy, does some CrossFit, whatever. And this guy's trying to go to war. Like he's got to prove that jiu-jitsu is bullshit. How do you
got to go to war? You got to go to war. Like, look. I don't understand this whole, this guy's going too strong. This guy's going too crazy. Like this guy's too spazzy. Like it's never been palatable to me.
I think people think because it's an intro class guy that maybe you want to.
Is he supposed to come in there and just be like, okay, like no,
like, well, you know, if I'm afraid if I smash him too bad, he's not going to come back. And that's not, you know what I mean? You obviously want your professor to make money. So it's like, if I can get another student, if I gain another training partner out of this guy who's strong, which could be good, what's the balance there?
Usually the professor most of the times will make the matchups. Go there, go there, go there, go there.
Okay.
They're doing that on them. You don't need to focus on the professor making money. He's focused on himself making money.
Okay.
Focus on being the best you can be in the class that you're in.
Right.
Roll. Then we're not rolling 30. You know what I mean? Especially if he's a new guy. But on the side of the new guy are the spaz, because, you know, your boy was the king of the spazzes for a couple years when I first started. People are like, oh, we're just flowing. I don't know how to flow.
We've established this.
Okay. Like when I was white belt, I am not good enough at jiu-jitsu to just play.
Right.
All I know is I can bench 315 for 5, and I'm going to try to use it. Like,
right.
I'm going to go explode, and then I'm going to gas. I'm going to go sit on the fucking wall, and I'm going to sweat mayonnaise, and I'll fucking come back again. And one after that, I'll take a blow, and I'll come back in. Like, do you want to be able to make it through the whole class and roll with your tank? Yes, but that's going to take time. A new guy is not going to have the gas tank. The strength is he's already had. He's earned it from other places. But, like, the spazzes are going to spaz. It's our jobs as blues, purples, and blacks and browns to weather the storm. Cook him. He'll gas himself.
I think those spazzy trial class guys that come in is a good thing. I know people look down upon it a lot because they're just like, well, it's not jiu-jitsu. Well, you got to think that this is supposed to be martial art, self-defense thing. This is not all sport jiu-jitsu. Unless you go to exclusively a sports jiu-jitsu school and you don't care about defending yourself. But the spazzy guy that comes in, the spazzy CrossFit guy that's strong, that's a reflection of the real world. You know what I mean? So that's what it's going to be like if you get into a fight with a guy that can't fight but thinks he can because he's got muscles. He's going to be spazzy. And the faster that you can learn to mitigate the spazziness and just control his body, the better off you're going to be in the fight in the long run.
This could, I'm sure if we post this, we'll have a lot of negative about it. But if you're getting hurt by the spazzy white belt in class,
maybe you're not as good as you think you are.
you need to get better at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
There's going to be guys that are crazy and jumping on you and coming down, but like from a female perspective, it's different. Every once in a while, but you should every once in a while try that because that's what you're going to see outside the supermarket. But you need to like be able to weather a big motherfucker coming at you with a crazy power, especially if you're a little.
What was it like doing jiu-jitsu in like the, early mid 2000s, when the UFC's popping off and
Every jiu-jitsu school turned into an MMA school.
Right. Everybody's running around wearing tap out shirts thinking because they've got muscles because they go to 24-hour fitness 5 days a week and eat a bunch of creatine.
There was no technique. There's no brumble. It was very meat and potatoes, but every school ended up evolving into an MMA school. So we did both. But like, yeah, man, it's not easy. Jiu-jitsu is not easy. It's going to be tough. There's not going to be days where like, I just want to like flow with my friends. If you want that, then get mats in your garage and invite your best friend over and work technique. But if you come in the class, you got to be able to go against the person who's spazzy, go against the person who's technical, go against the person who's doesn't know nothing and just who's scared. Like I've said, jiu-jitsu checks different boxes for different people. Well, the spaz is coming in. He's got anger. And he's trying to check a box mentally. Well, you better look. All right, dude, you're coming at me pretty crazy. I'm going to put you down. Like, you got to be able to deal with it. If you can't, then he's unlocked some holes in your game. Like, when a guy goes crazy on me, I lose. Or I don't want to hurt him. Like, well, guess what, bro? You got to defend yourself. I'm not saying punch him, but like I'm saying, like, win the round. Sweep him.
I think this topic brings me to something that's been kind of heavy on my mind. I'd say the last couple of weeks. And this isn't anything I was prepared to. There's not up here on our dockets at all. So I think I'm at a crossroads with my jiu-jitsu where I don't know exactly what my reasoning or purpose is for coming. I enjoy it. I'm not like saying I'm going to quit jiu-jitsu by any means. I fucking love it. But I'm a 40-year-old blue belt, 41-year-old blue belt. I'm not going to be like a world champion. You know what I mean? Like,
could be a Masters world champion.
Yeah, but who gives a shit about being a Masters 41-year-old blue belt champion? I don't. That's what I'm saying. Right. I don't.
Okay.
That isn't
fair enough.
So I think some people, that's their thing. It's just not it's not what ticks any of my boxes. I enjoy the camaraderie. I enjoy the workout. I enjoy learning the technique. I enjoy the point now where I'm at, where I'm like starting to develop a game, or like where I'm running into certain things where a part of my game that I was probably the best part of my game is now I have to like step away from it because it's not going to be advantageous in a competition if that's a route I do choose to take. And if I'm competing, I'm only competing because it's something I'm enjoying. I don't, I'm not doing it to have a wall full of medals or anything like that. It's just, it's a fun thing to me. I like being able to go out there, the mental process beforehand, how you spoke about in the last episode, how, you drove out to your last competition, you kind of got in a certain mindset. I enjoy that, the kind of the process, the mental, it's like a mental game with myself. Can I get out there and beat my nerves kind of a thing? Before I even step on the mat with my opponent, can I beat my nerves before I get on the mat kind of a thing? But like, eventually I feel like, at least at this point in my jiu-jitsu game, I feel like someday I would like to open a school. Someday I'd like to be a coach. I told you in another episode, like, I'm never going to be a world champion. I'd love to train a world champion. I'd like to bring somebody up through my school that has the athletic prowess and the skill and the mental strength to become that. I think that would be cool. That'd be a rad accomplishment. But I just, as far as like my own personal jiu-jitsu journey, other than like just collecting the technique in my head and like being proficient at it, I'm not 100% like what my journey is at this point in time.
I think a lot of blue belts go through this. A lot of people say, oh, blue belts always quit. But I think a lot of them go through like, well, I got my blue belt. And you're like, okay, what's next?
Right.
You got to think of your goals. Right. Of like, what's like, my goal was always to be black belt. And I wasn't even training into black belt. So I knew it was a long journey. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I want to do this. It's hard to do. I want to show people that I can do it. And when I got it, I was like, my black belt looks like crap. Everybody else has stripes on theirs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just never ends. There's always something else that I want. Like
Right.
I was always like, the hunger was there, the motivation. I thought maybe the motivation might die when I got the black belt because I had accomplished it. I got there.
Right.
Now what? Like, no way, dude. Like, I don't even know what I would do without the camaraderie at the gym or the training. I think as a father, I need that release, you know, as like a husband and a father, I need that release of like getting like with the guys and like, you know what I mean? I need that like,
Yeah.
It'd be hard for me just to like punch a clock and come to work and go home and then, you know, hang out with the wife and then go back to work. And then like, it's like, I need, like, I think like you may not know what your goals and just right now, but it's therapeutic for you.
100%.
And you are we're establishing the pod and we're doing this thing. So like you're growing in the game,
Right.
like different branches, right? Like, so your branch is not world champion.
Right. And that's, you know, I guess one of the things I'd kind of thought about this week was, you know, because this is like a question that's been, I'd say for probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, it's just been constantly like at different times of the day running through my head. Like, you know, I look at like things like social media and like the being an influencer thing and whatnot. I'm never going to be the guy that's like the world champion black belt influencer or the guy that just knocks at all the crazy moves. You know what I mean? Brandon McCaffrey established himself as, you know, this guy who does the 1-minute jiu-jitsu hacks, and he's teaching all these like really like practical jiu-jitsu moves that look super difficult technically. And he's like showing you like, it's not that technical. I could show you in a minute how to do it, kind of a thing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What does that look like for me? So it's just like, I'm through the pod, through my relationship with you, all the behind the scenes work that goes into this. Like I think my goal is to provide, a comfortable, like, listen, you know what I mean? Like there's, you can ingest jujitsu when you go to class, when you go to competitions, things like that. But like we're providing another outlet for people to be involved in the jujitsu space away from the mats as well.
There's people who, you know, hopefully we've accomplished like we're people's Tuesday to work. Yeah. A lot of people are, oh, why aren't your podcast like an hour and a half and this and this? I'm like, because most people commute 45 minutes.
Right.
And I don't want you to like, and then people already have like, I know what I listen to on Wednesday. I know what I listen on Thursday. I was like, hopefully we've adopted your Tuesday.
Right.
And like, if all we do is bring to jiu-jitsu is like an entertaining time to work, or maybe get you something we said, get you psyched up to hit Tuesday night class or Wednesday morning class.
Right.
Hey man, that's fine. That's cool, man. Like we're going to talk jiu-jitsu anyways. So whether we're recording or not.
Right.
So I think that like, it's okay to be a blue belt and not know what your end goal in the game is going to be. Because right now you're just a student. You're just trying to figure out the art.
Right.
But you're already making an impact in the sport. Not as big as an impact I think we're going to be made in like 5 years.
Right.
6 years from now. But you're already doing it. Not just me up here.
Right.
I can't do this shit without you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. Like after this last competition, I was so relieved that like it's kind of over. You know what I mean? Like that, to get the San Diego IBJJF out of my way. And it's like, I'm not signed up for anything right now. And it's like, I've got some tattoo work that I want to get done, but I didn't want to do that if I was prepping for comp, kind of a thing. So it's like, I don't even know what like the rest of my season's going to look like. You know, I know that there's another Orange County Open. I'm considering trying to hit that. I don't think I'm ready for Worlds.
it was it's like almost like a refreshing. Like,
Yeah. It's like the Worlds thing is just like, it's in Vegas. So it's like, you got to go. I think it's midweek.
Work week.
Yeah. It's like, I'm spending money on a hotel.
Mm.
My wife wants to go. I'm taking my kid. Now I'm feeding 3 people. You know what I mean? Like it's
this is what the stuff like this that we're talking about right now is why people, I believe, like to listen, because we're not just, we're great. This is real emotion that we're feeling here. We're all dads.
Right.
We're all trying to figure it out. We're like, dude, how am I going to get time off of work and this and that for a medal?
Right.
And now and you already got DQ'd.
Right. Or potentially nothing. You know what I mean? Spend all this money to go out there and leave with nothing. You know what I mean? Like the experience and like, you know, the team bonding and stuff like that. But like, just feel like there's other things I could spend my time and my money on that are going to be more beneficial to my jiu-jitsu journey or my team building. You know what I mean? Or time with my family. That's the thing too, is that like I have a wife, I have a young child. If I was just single, to take a week off of work or take some time off to work to go compete, that's not a big deal because I just got to worry about myself. But I'm taking time away from my family. Like my wife likes to go to the competitions. She's got to take off of work. So now it's a weekend. I'm not working anyway. She's taking off of work, so she's losing money. I'm now taking time away from my kid, you know, that I normally hang out with on weekends because I'm trying to be in the zone and trying to be focused. And my kid does jujitsu, but she's 6, you know what I mean? So she doesn't want to sit at a comp all day long, you know? So it's like, there's a lot of sacrifice that goes into it that's just outside of my own personal sacrifice.
I think you should compete. Everybody should at least compete every belt color a couple times. I'm like, oh, everybody should try one competition. Yes. But I think everybody should compete at least every belt color because, you know, a lot of people know your game in your gym. And I feel like you want to see how legit you is.
Right.
I mean, like I get your brown belt and all of a sudden you get a brown belt and you get actually murked. Then you're like, dude, am I, you know, everybody has that like imposter syndrome, right? So maybe compete a couple times. I think with your purple, compete a couple times. Your brown, compete a couple times. You know what I mean? Like just to show like you know, you're competing. You're not on an active circuit. Some guys we know hit every tournament.
Right.
But maybe they need that.
Right. Absolutely.
You're getting boxes checked at other places.
Yeah. Okay. So do's and don'ts of jiu-jitsu in a street fight. I know this seems kind of silly because it's like it's a street fight. There's no don'ts.
What you don't want to do is, and this goes for my gi guys, okay? You just want to reach for clothing.
A t-shirt's not gonna.
You gotta get to your. You have to get to your overhooks. You got to get to your grips. I'm not okay with reaching for clothing, but you got to get there by strikes first.
Okay.
You got to open it because strikes are the first thing you have to deal with, right? You're not gonna be a guy you're gonna get blasted, and you know what I mean?
Right. Maybe you also don't pull someone into your guard.
You want a hockey fight? You're gonna wear some. You better like big T, jab cross, double jab. You know, look at their feet. Usually, whatever foot's back is their power hand. So, like, circle to the, you know, the right foot's back. You're gonna, you know, circle to the right. The left foot's back. You're gonna circle to the left. Avoid their power hand. You know what I mean? So they don't get clicked.
Right.
Obviously, pulling guard probably not smart because you know what I mean. Why be on bottom when you could be on top? Yeah, I mean, like definitely like. I mean, street fight, and also don't respect the tap.
Right. I have seen that shit in street fights. I'm like, fuck that.
No, dude.
You're going to sleep, bitch.
No, you're going out or I'm breaking it.
Yeah.
And just because I break your arm doesn't mean I'm not going to come up and keep punching you afterwards. Like, I'm going to break it. Now you just don't have an arm.
Right.
And now I'm going to keep hitting you. That's what Frank Mir said. Like, that's true. Like, you break that shit. And then now you're fighting one arm man. I'm still fighting.
Right.
The only way I'm stopping is if you're not moving.
Right.
Or whoever I'm protecting is safe and I can get away.
Right.
But like, I'm not like, oh, he tapped. And the next thing you know, he's like, now I got a gun.
I've seen that before. There's like, you know, videos on the internet of a guy tapping someone or not tapping, but choking someone to sleep. And the dude tapped and people were like, oh, he was tapping. Why didn't you let go? I'm like, fuck that.
Don't let the UFC sport.
Right. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like
with a referee.
Make your brain feel like that's what you should do in the street. Right. You know what I mean? Like it's no.
No. Keep going.
Keep going. I'm so afraid to fight somebody in the street. Like, what if they like go out and they hit their head into cement and they kill him? And then now I'm going to jail.
Right.
And they're like, oh, he's brain dead. Blah, blah. Is it true that you've done this? Like that whole like, oh, they'll use my training against me. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. That's
I
true
don't
enough.
think so. I think I've read.
I think
into
that's
that
like
before.
some fake shit.
Yeah.
But
Have you seen Chael Sonnen has he has like sponsors for his little like it's not a podcast, but his little YouTube channel and whatnot. I didn't say little. The guy's channel's massive. Sorry, Chael. No disrespect, my man. Because clearly you watch the BJJ Balance podcast.
He does,
yeah,
for sure.
Oh, yeah,
I just made a meme about it.
yeah. But he has a company that sponsors him that will register your hands as lethal weapons.
Oh shit,
Like,
that's hilarious. That's hilarious. I like the last episode. What if we sold like ragged black belts?
Okay.
Like, and we just sold them that way.
Yeah.
Now people can like make their fake cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
Belts that have really been through it.
Just
And we're like, we like
all belt
tailor
colors.
them.
Just you are the blue belt, man.
Buy our rough belt,
Right.
dude. I bet you that's so much money in making that.
I bet, dude. People buy jeans with holes in them. We could sell.
We might on into something there,
Yeah.
Kenny. I'm telling you, this BJJ Balance merch is coming, guys.
Worn out belts. Got you.
Fucking worn out purple belts. STDs not included. Yeah, don't respect the tap. Like, well, Chael Sonnen has that clip where he goes, only hit a man if he hits you first. And he's like, bullshit.
Right.
If you're in my space and I'm like, hey, get away from me,
Right.
and you don't,
If I'm giving you a verbal warning and you don't,
and you keep coming towards me, it's on.
yeah, I'm not waiting.
I'm not waiting. No way.
Somebody had reached out. This was it's a black belt that lives in Australia.
Bonjour.
He's Brazilian, and he moved to Australia.
Bonjour again.
Yeah, he moved to Australia to teach.
You took a wrong flight, my man.
But he's so he teaches out there and whatnot, and he competes in the Australian competitions, but he wants to compete more in IBJJF tournaments for the prestige that comes along with being a black belt champion in those. So he's curious about ideas to raise money. I'll break down some facts about Australia really quickly that I know off the top of my head. Australia as a country, it's the size of the United States. As a population, it has the entire country has the population of Los Angeles County spread across the country as big as America, United States. So it's not a dense population. Basically, people live on the outskirts of Australia, on all the beach coastal cities.
And no one lives in the middle.
Nobody really lives in the middle.
What's in there?
The ice wall. Aborigines. Honestly, I don't know. A lot of shit that'll kill you. Deadly spiders that are the size of your fucking head.
Would love to go to Australia someday. Well, here this is not. This will make you money, okay? But it is not going to get you to heaven. Okay, it's called the funeral car wash. What we do is when we do, my man, we're going to create somebody who has went with the Lord, and you will donation car wash, and you just go city to city, and people will just give you money.
100%. I work in Escondido. I see this shit all the time.
They do it all the time. It's a hustle, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hustle out here.
Yeah.
It's a hustle out here. You like, it really is.
Brother,
I'm not. No, but like seriously, maybe get some merch. Like literally tell honesty. Honesty is gonna get you to travel.
Yeah.
Go on your socials and be like, look it. My name is. Cut a little video. My name is so and so and so. Blah blah blah. I'm a black belt. I'm trying to compete at said tournament. I'm trying to raise money to get flight and board or whatnot. I'm willing to give private lessons. I'm willing to give, I've created a shirt.
Right.
I've created this.
People want something for their money. Give them something that you can
Say, I want to give privates, but I'm doing it because I want to go here.
Right.
My base is this. If you want to give more, fine. But like be honest with people. Be honest with them. Especially if you're teaching, your students are going to want to help you out.
Right.
Just tell them why. It's hard to ask for money. But if you're giving them something with it, if you're like, hey, I made new shirts, blah, blah, blah. I'm doing it because I want to go here.
And I think this is one of those Brazilians that he's teaching at a school, but I don't think he's the owner of the school, if that makes sense. So he's not collecting all of the money from the gym, if that, you know what I mean?
So now you're going to have to ask the owner, hey, can I give my shirts? Well, or just do it on your social media,
right?
Your own personal shirts.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like that's probably the way out. Don't definitely, the car wash was a joke, but for sure, fundraisers.
Right. Yeah.
Go fund me. Literally.
People will just throw you money.
Be like, hey, I'm trying to compete at Euros. I need this much money. Set your freaking marker, what you need.
Right.
And be like, boom, boom, boom. If you donate, I will give you whatever. I mean, that's probably that's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I was looking for it,
The BJJ Irish goodbye. Have you heard of this?
No.
Gyms losing generations of upper belts due to a shift in gym culture, direction, or leadership.
Oh, well, I mean, I didn't know that's what it was called, but
So the example, what he was saying, you know what an Irish goodbye is?
No.
So the Irish goodbye is basically when you're like at a party and you just leave without telling anybody, just bounce. So he's saying he's seen gyms and maybe even been a part of gyms where they go from a defensive or like a martial art jiu-jitsu focus to a sport jiu-jitsu focus. And because of that shift, a lot of the guys that were there, the purples, the browns that have been there for a while, that was why they signed up, don't like the new direction it's heading into, and they leave. And
this happened so much. This happened so damn much in like 2009 to 2010. All these gyms, because UFC was starting to pop.
Right.
All these jiu-jitsu gyms would be like, hey, I got an MMA fight. And next thing you know, they're like, we've like shifted into an MMA gym. I think I just talked about that.
Right.
This happened to me like 3 times. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I'm just here for the jiu-jitsu. And the next thing you know, I'm freaking doing smokers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, but like that happened a lot. And, like, I think fortunate enough now that we don't have to worry about that because I mean, maybe, I don't know what it's like in the middle of America.
Right.
But like, you can find your jiu-jitsu.
Well, see, that's what when we started talking about moving and we started kind of looking into the towns that we wanted to move to, and I started looking into my options for jiu-jitsu out there. Of course, the first thing I do is I go look for a checkmat school. And I've talked about this plenty of times on the pod, the checkmat is, I think it's an hour. It's not even 40. It's like an hour away from like the town.
It was an hour. We looked. It was an hour there, hour home.
Yeah. That's just not feasible unless I end up in a shop that's close to there and it's like kind of on the way home thing, but it's still, so at the time when I was looking initially, there were only 2 schools teaching jiu-jitsu, and they were MMA gyms that teach jiu-jitsu. And that's not where I'm at now. And that's not something I don't care. I don't want to learn striking. I don't want to learn Muay Thai. It doesn't interest me at all.
No.
I just want to do jiu-jitsu. So I'm looking at the schedule, and yeah, it has jiu-jitsu 6 days a week, but it's like primarily no gi for the evening classes, which is what I'm able to attend just due to my work schedule. It's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, no gi, Tuesday, Thursday, gi. And I'm like, I don't want to go heavy no gi. You know what I mean? That's not my, so because it's an MMA school more than anything, gym more than anything, like that's what their focus is going to be. And I get it, but that's not what worked for me. It's not my ideal situation. Now, if that's all, those are my only 2 options, and I'm just going to have to get what I get, but
you're just not going to get as much from a school that offers multiple things.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, we have some MMA gyms here.
Right.
There's Dan's, which offers everything. And I'm not saying but like the way he has it is like their jiu-jitsu program is their jiu-jitsu program, the Muay Thai is their Muay Thai.
Right.
They're not like mixing.
Right.
Which it's still
well,
like,
he has MMA. He actually has like cage tactics classes and things like that.
Then there's the other gym. What's his name? The first guest was on.
Tony. Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of an MMA gym.
Right. Right.
And like, it is what it is, but you're not getting the authentic jiu-jitsu experience as much as you would get into a traditional school.
Right. Well, they
but
do
you're
gi
getting other
classes
things. You're
and
getting
stuff like that, but
boxing,
yeah.
and you're getting all this other stuff. But like,
I would say the majority of the students that at Team Overtime are MMA focused. So
like I don't see them at like the local jiu-jitsu tournaments.
right.
Are they really pushing like, hey guys, grappling X this weekend? We all signing up? Like, no.
Right.
They're focused other places, which is fine. But like when people that want like a certain thing, like that what brought them to the dance, like I signed up here for MMA. Now while we're doing the jiu-jitsu, like this is not what I signed up for. I'm out.
Right.
That happens when whether you lose a coach or an instructor go somewhere else. That's gonna happen. But like, yeah, I mean, the turnaround that's what I'm saying. Like, you're just gotta be like, I'm all for loyalty, but I'm also for, paying for what you want.
Right.
Like, if Poncho left, he's like, I'm moving to Texas. And like he wasn't here, I'd probably just go to Jason's.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I would stay loyal, but I'm not gonna be like, I don't know, man. So I get it. Like the thing is, there's a real thing that happens out there though. These gyms trying to make money to try to change it up, and then all of a sudden they've totally hurt other people. That's why I think it's essential for all these new jiu-jitsu promotions to not reinvent the wheel, just to make the casual fan like it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like jiu-jitsu is culty. You like it for a reason.
Right. I could see how that would be an odd thing too. If you let's say you're a casual and you walk into an MMA or a jiu-jitsu gym expecting to learn what you're seeing at ADCC or something like that. There's 10 Planet schools, obviously.
And you just hear
larger
it.
Right.
What's going on? I mean,
right. But yeah, or even just, that's I see what you're saying.
But see, the gyms were so at the old Team Quest, Dan's gym was a lot smaller.
Where was that?
It was off Date, right over here by 8-bit.
Okay.
But like it was like right in those little areas.
Right.
But like it was like smaller. So like it had a ring, it had one big blue mat, a bay door, bunch of bags hanging, and like you would just do jiu-jitsu in a little mat area space. And sometimes they'd have to cone it off for 2 classes. So you wouldn't even have a big mat space.
Mm-hmm.
And so like to me, that was like the other classes are influencing on top of your class. Now, fortunately, Dan's class now is so freaking huge.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, you could have a jiu-jitsu class and this and that. They don't really interfere with each other.
Right. Did you see he built a brewery?
He's doing things over there, man.
Yeah.
Dan's doing things.
That like overlooks. It's kind of rad. But yeah, no, that was my first after 10 Planet was my first experience was Dan's gym, and that was the first unit. But I didn't.
I could have been in that class too. I could have been in some of those classes.
You were for sure. You were.
I know I was
For sure. You were. 100%.
I just don't remember. I don't remember Kenny. Hair.
Yeah. That I had hair for sure. That would have been. Was white belt. You were probably a brown at that
Purple
point.
or brown, yeah.
Well, Jason was a brown. Jason was like a 2-stripe.
Also, I was brown for sure. Yeah.
So, yeah. I was a fucking new white belt. What the fuck did you?
A lot of people don't like me in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
When we found Church was here. Was like, yeah, I hated you.
Yeah.
I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I didn't like you. He's like, fuck this guy. I was like, why? What did I do? He's like, I don't know, man. You weren't like you swept me one time and like just walked away. And I'm like you weren't like nice. I'm all, excuse me? What the?
The only person at the when I went to Hendo's, Kuhio was very hard to read. So I remember as a white belt, and he was a black belt already, and having to roll with him, and just being I'm super intimidated. I'm like, why am I having to go against this guy? This makes no sense. This guy's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking there's no like, I got a shot with this. No, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. But he's so like just stoic and just like,
Mhm.
and then it wasn't later until years later meeting him at Jason's house for a barbecue where like I got into a conversation with him. I'm like, oh, that's just his face. Like he's super nice, you know? And then I see him, you know, every once in a while I'll go to Poncho's, he'll come to Jason's and whatnot. And he'll like come up and, you know, belt promotion, shake my hand. He's just super nice. I'm just like, man, like that. He was a hard one to read, you know?
I look at when I'm in class, I'm just not the type of guy who's gonna, I'm not cracking crazy jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like my jujitsu, like I'm not saying I do take it serious, especially when I'm a student. I'm like, learning, I'm quiet. I'm like, not like, if I'm trying to win, brown belt, was very injured. And then when I was training, I'm trying to get a black belt. So like, I'm like holding on the moves and I'm waiting for Poncho to turn around. And when I see him, sweet. Tell me you don't do that. Tell me you don't do that. No one does that.
Yeah, bro, I'm not at that level yet.
No one does that. I'm like, I got this move. It's all hooked up. It's everything. I got the grip. I got the lapel. I got this. I'm about to freaking sweep this guy. And all of a sudden, I'm like, Poncho, turn around. And then as soon as he turns around, oh, there's a sweep. And he'll go, oh, you fly. I'm like, yeah, you fly. He's like, I had to wait. I had to wait for him to see.
Did you tell him? Just 1 second. Just 1 second.
Yeah, but like, I'm like, I just had, I'm waiting, and whoop, I would do that all the time. So like, I had a prior motives to why, you know.
Oh fuck. We got questions.
Reaction of the week.
Reaction. Oh.
It's bad technique, dude.
Can we talk about the gold chains?
I mean, we got to keep it gangster.
My man is in gi pants.
Well, I like the Spider-Man stance at the end.
He's in gi pants. He's got a black belt on. That's backwards, by the way.
It is.
He's wearing a zippy.
A hoodie, which is so stereotypical.
And gold chains.
Stereotypical hoodie.
We're going to watch this a second time.
Yeah, we are. Double underhooks, overhook. The guy let him take it down. Whack ass punches. That armbar was weak. Crossed his feet like an idiot.
Not over the chest.
The back roll was the best thing about it. You know, he purely just YouTubed this and learned this little combo. And like, you know what I mean? It's not something like, there's a lot of bad fake jiu-jitsu out there.
This is what I don't want to end up with.
This is what you're going to see, Kenny. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Ever since you've mentioned that, like, and for anybody that lives in the Midwest that's about to hear what I'm going to say, please don't be offended. I have this legit fear that when I move, I'm going to end up at some whack school.
Jeff Jiu-Jitsu.
And it's going to be the only option. So I got to go there, and that I'm going to fuck up. Like, I'm going to go as a blue. Maybe if I play my cards right and I keep training, I'll end up as a purple before I move. And I'm going to go there as potentially a purple, and I'm just fucking up.
And no, they're going to be there for a couple years, and then you're like, hey, I'm coming back down. We'll do the podcast, how we're going to do it. And you're like, hey, I'm coming down for this, for a weekend. I'm going to come down. We can do a live pod or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, sweet, come down. We'll train. You'll come down to train, and you'll just get wrecked by all the blue belts.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, oh, no.
Yeah. It happened.
I lost it.
God, that fear. I have a legit fear in that.
Hey, man.
It lives in the back of my mind.
What does Smokey the Bear say?
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Only you can prevent forest fires, my man. Back to that video. The back roll at the end was probably the best. The guy had good dreads. The arm bar there was no weight. There was no S mount. You just kind of stood up and spun around. I'm going to give it a freaking 3 out of 10 in technique. The punches were whack.
I want to go back. The arm bar. Does he even have the elbow?
So you're not even wearing a gi, but props for wearing a hoodie. That's stereotypical.
When he hits the arm bar, does he even have the elbow fulcrum? It doesn't look like
No, he doesn't. And what's funny to me is how many takes? That was the best one?
That wasn't one and done for sure.
No, it had to be one and done because he had people watching and he wanted to look cool. So let me put this on my thing. Like, that's bad. It's bad technique, bro. Find yourself a jiu-jitsu gym, a good one.
Guys, here's why your hormones suck.
If you're listening to this, then chances are you may be one of countless guys who are struggling to see the results they want in the gym, in the mirror, or even in the bedroom. Most guys are focused on testosterone. However, that's only 50% of the answer.
Without adequate growth hormone
And its end result, growth factors, you can't optimally absorb the testosterone you have, no matter if it's synthetic or natural.
that's where BioPro Plus comes in.
BioPro Plus fills in what you're missing out on to help maximize your performance in the gym and even how you look in the mirror without any needles, side effects, or doctor visits, all at a fraction of the cost of synthetic treatments. Over the last few years, BioPro Plus has been taking the medical community by storm as a faster, easier to use, and 100% safe alternative to prescription HGH and peptide treatments. It's become an underground favorite for professional and combat sports athletes and has been featured in Men's Journal, Muscle and Fitness, and even venture capitalist magazines.
Simply put, BioPro Plus is getting real guys, real results really fast. Check them out and enjoy your new look on life. Oh,
Wendy that barber asks, fuck, marry, kill Stalin, Hitler, and Danny DeVito.
I'm marrying Danny, just because, you know, I'm a fan. Stalin and Hitler. Jesus, Wendy.
Guys, this was dark.
What about you? Go.
Marry Danny, kill Stalin and Hitler are equally as fucked, but I think Hitler is just one tier above on the shithead level. So brutally kill Hitler and then I guess fuck Stalin to death.
Hitler's in the poop.
I don't like the one with dudes, man.
Hitler's in
I'm
the
not trying to fuck dudes.
Yeah, me either. Hitler's in the poop. It is June. Hitler is the poop. Hitler is in the poop, right? I heard like he like poop on him.
Really?
Yeah, he was like he like poop on his little mustache, little cute little stash. So like, we're gonna kill him, and then I guess Stalin, zap.
Coach Ryan Gray asks, would you rather sleep someone or launch them into orbit with a throw and a comp? Sleep.
I mean, the best photo you could ever get is that walk away when the guy's sleeping behind you and you're like walking away. Like you never have to train again, dude. That's one that freaking.
I would say sleep because it's a definitive win. So I know I won that match. If I throw someone, that's not the end of it. You know what I mean? That's just 2 points.
I just think sleep because I've probably only put one person to sleep in my whole life. Everybody taps too quick. And that was like in a real street application. My mom's boyfriend at the time called my, they were just fighting some drunken battle. And then he called her a cunt. And then I was like, all right. And then I went over there and he threw a swing at me and I saw that come in and I body locked him, took him down. And she's like, don't hurt him. And I was like, so I just head arm triangled him, put him out. And then we threw him outside the front lawn. That was that's the only time I ever sleep anybody was like some drunk guy. So I would say, yeah, I definitely would like to sleep somebody. But people tap too fast.
What about that arm bar from fucking Kevin Holland last night?
Man, you agree with the stoppage?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean? That was this.
I think he broke his fucking arm, bro.
So 2 weeks ago, Kevin Holland got this guy an arm bar. And I was like, he's going to break. My wife's like, oh my God, I can't watch. I'm like, oh my God, beanie.
I screamed to break it.
My daughter, I'm a beanie. Check this out. He's going to break his arm. She's like, really? And I was like, sure, shit. Hey, I'll tell you right now, what sucks about like not, so this, I feel bad for the guy who got his arm broke because he was trying to show grit and not tapping.
Right.
And like, because he wanted to show that he's tough and he wanted to win and like they stopped it, right? Now he's at home and he can't wipe his ass and he's like, and he still had the same result.
The ref's job is to
protect the
fighter. So, you know, and that's hard on an arm bar because it's just like, man, if he's not tapping.
I was looking at the replays, like could he have like hitchhikered out? He might have been able to hitchhiker out. But the hitchhiker sweeps so hard with the glove because
I think the cage was too close to him.
I don't think so.
The way he'd have to roll.
Once the guy has the glove though, it's hard to hitchhiker out.
True.
It's not like you can't like just flat palm it.
Well, that and he fucking at that point he already got it
behind the armpit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was brutal, man.
Yeah,
that sucks. Kevin Holland, good jiu-jitsu.
Princess in the Night asks mindset going into a comp at the belt level and age that you're at.
Well, I kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago about my mindset when I go into comp. What's your mindset when you go into comp? I bet the whole, if you want to look at it, nightmares. I make sure like I don't not into dreams. I'm in the nightmares. You know, I'm wrestling for the future. I'm fighting for like future glory, not present glory.
Right.
Like that's kind of like what I got into. What about you?
Before I say mine, I wanted to touch on something. I was at IBJJF in LA, the LA Open, and I saw Hanato competing. And I'm sitting, this is like an hour, 2 hours before I go on. Now this man's a 4th degree black belt and just an absolute savage. And when he stepped onto the mat, he didn't look mean or angry. He just looked like it was just another day at the office. Like he's competed so many times that it literally, there's no nerves whatsoever when it comes to competition for him. That's at least how it appeared optically to me. So it would be sweet to get to a point like that. I know that because as many times as I've competed, which isn't a lot, because of that I know that I can get in my own head. So I'm just trying to stay out of my own way, if that makes sense.
Mm.
So my mindset is kind of like, keep it off the mat. I'm not the guy that wants to sit there and warm up. I'm not trying to do arm pummels. I'm not trying to drill shit beforehand. Realistically, if you can have a conversation with somebody on the side, you know, I just weighed in. I just got my gi checked. I passed all that stuff. All I got to do is keep my mind occupied until I step out onto the mat.
I like warming up. I like to get a sweat going.
Okay.
I like to get the traditional, start running inside, outside, touch your toes, stretch, do my whole morning routine that I normally do in my normal class, because then it makes me feel like this is a normal class.
Okay.
Kind of gets my mind right, because you're usually better in your second roll anyways.
Yeah.
Your second roll is usually okay, now I'm rolling good. Now I'm seeing things.
Right.
I don't want to be completely dry, have not done anything physical, and to step on the mat, because then those nerves, once you break a sweat, the sweat kind of releases the nerves for me. I don't know what it is. It's like, you know, and then I try to tell myself this is open mat. This is just regular. This is nothing. And the lower your belt is, the less people should bring to watch.
So the last time that I competed was about 3 weeks into my microdosing, and I had no nerves. Just, I was there. I was in the moment. I was present. I was ready to compete. But I didn't. I do notice that. That's just in general. I have a mentally stressful job and whatnot, and because of the microdosing, I don't deal with the normal stress that I do when I'm not on it. And I think that might have played a bit into the competition.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've known somebody do CBD, and this has helped them a lot. CBD,
yeah,
a good CBD has helped people with the nerves a lot. I know a couple of people that are very nervous before they compete, and then they take it and they say they feel great.
My mom and my stepdad were there, and my wife and my child, and I still had no nerves. So that's my goal. It's just, how can I get rid of the nerves so that when I step on the mat, I'm ready, you know?
Right.
Ultimately.
Nerves are good. I love nerves.
It wasn't the nerve. What I don't want is the adrenaline dump.
Right.
You know? And when I competed in LA, I definitely had that. I was sweating within seconds, you know what I mean? Just because my adrenaline's like, it's go time, you know? This last one, it wasn't like that. It felt like I went to an open mat, you know? And it's like, I don't know this guy, but we're going to roll, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it even when I grabbed his gi and he tried to break the grips and whatnot, you know, they're doing the aggressive comp gi grip breaks and whatnot. It wasn't nothing, none of it fazed me. It wasn't oh, you know, sometimes you get the oh, that was a lot stronger or harder than I anticipated it might be, because this is a competition and not an open mat kind of a thing. But none of that bothered me.
It's okay to be nervous.
Yeah.
Nerves is good. Nerves feels good. It's a good feeling. It's a feeling that we don't get to feel a lot as humans. A lot of us live basic lives where we're not nervous about things.
No, I don't.
It's I like to feel oh shit, it's going down right now. Here we go. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that feeling. You know, you're doing something that's out of your comfort zone. That's what we're supposed to be as humans.
I get the pushing yourself thing. I get, you know, is that what you're talking? I don't like the uneasy feeling of nerves.
If I try to trick my brain to feel I like it.
Oh.
I'm oh, yeah, I'm nervous right now. What the hell anything could happen. I can get spiked. I can get my arm broke. Like, whatever, man. Like, she can go down and get wrist lock in 10 seconds. Like, whatever, dude. Like, shit's going, you know what I mean? Like,
I think it was 21.
32, dude.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, you know, you don't know what's going to happen. Like, this is crazy, bro. Like, I feel like I welcome nerves, bro. Like, I feel like it's something that I don't get to feel a lot. And when I do get to feel it, like, it's, you know, feels good.
Okay.
It's like a scary movie almost. Like, some people like to be scared. They like to, like, to me, it's that's nerves. Like, I like, oh crap. Like, and then you go out there and do it and you see what happens and you get better. Hey, in Jiu-Jitsu World League, let's freaking release the video because I have one video of my comp that I won. I have a perfect audio, perfect video of when I lose. I have the perfect of the wrist lock. But the one video that you sent me is blurry. Blurry.
Really?
It's so blurry. It's like someone sent it to me from a freaking...
Maybe that's why. Maybe because I had shitty network there. It looks fine on my phone. I'll resend it to you here. I'll airdrop it to you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, like it's like it looks like someone sent it to me from Metro PCS.
Oh,
or something.
see, I thought you were saying like maybe it was just because it was zoomed in so far that it was blurry. But no, it sounds like you've got.
It's a legit.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, well, we can fix that here.
all right, sweet.
Colin McSorley asks, silk or cotton robe? Oh, this is referring to.
Oh, come on, dude. And this is the end of the episode, so like I'm okay with it.
A couple weeks ago, Matt says he can't even. He likes grips.
I like grips. I can't even like
Be intimate with his wife
without her wearing a bathrobe. Well, I mean, obviously it's silk, dude. You know what I mean?
Clearly, Colin's a listener.
Yeah, Colin. First of all, thank you, brother, for the subscription and the listening and the following. And I know you're waiting for TikToks, and he's gonna do that soon. Yeah, man, it's silk, dude. Come on, dude. My wife coming out of silk robe, dude.
She's getting collar gripped.
Oh my God. You know, I'm freaking going deep half. But yeah, man, that's crazy. You think what I'm thinking, buddy?
Aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes, everybody. Thanks again. This is episode 39, episode 40 next week. That's wild. Follow us on Oast Nation BJJ. Follow Kenny at Freak Party BJJ. Follow the podcast at the BJJ Balance podcast. Follow the BJJ Balance Discord. We'll post links throughout that. Kenny, what is it?
Discord.gg/BJJ Balance.
Follow the YouTube. We're so close to monetization. We might be there already. Yeah. But if you have not and you want to help out the pod, one way you can help us out so much is just subscribing to the YouTube.
To touch on the Discord real quick, that's the community. That's for you guys. You know what I mean? Like we're in there. But
we were on Verdict 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And during the fight, the Verdicts have like where you can pick fights and pick the winners and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we're interacting with the guys in there. Yeah, I won, of course. But we're in there. Like we're in there talking with you guys, getting feedback. You want merch feedback. We want ideas. Some of these topics from today's pod came from the Discord.
Yep.
Like we're really interactive. So if you really want to be able to talk to us, we're going to go live on some of the podcasts in the Discord. You know, when we go to bigger events like PGF and stuff, we might go live on the Discord and like show people like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
And like, there's a lot of stuff that we can do. So like the Discord, follow us there. TikTok, Kenny will post soon. YouTube, help us out tremendously. All our Instagrams. And that's pretty much all I got. Aim for the bushes, guys. See you next time. Os.